All right, we are live. Welcome to this little YouTube video live with Tangible. My name is Jonas Mahmoud. I'm the CCO of PEAKDEFI, and today I have with me Jack, Mike, and Melissa from Tangible. Nice to see you guys again.
Hey there, how's it going?
And today we want to talk about Tangible because we had an amazing IDO with them on our PEAKDEFI launchpad. And today is going to be a follow-up information for our investors, and Tangible even has a new product that they want to introduce us to our investors. So I'm very, very happy that we have this opportunity, that we are able to have this call right here or this video right now. So yes, who wants to start?
Yeah, I can start.
Okay, perfect, Jay.
So we've been live now around 3 or 4 weeks. The IDO went as planned. The lock mechanism and the 3 pluses seems to be working very well. As we talked about before, it kind of gives everyone time to find product market fit. It gives the team time and the product time and the community time as well to kind of engage with the product and for us to build up a good community that are actually using the product without a huge amount of sell pressure and that negative spiral that usually follows IDOs. And particularly in this market, we're holding up very, very well. So far, we've got wine, gold bars, and watches live. But now we're kind of ready to launch this Thursday, the product which everyone's been waiting for, which is real estate, in particular yield producing real estate.
Oh, wow. You're producing real estate. That sounds very good. That sounds like a solid investment that's like sustainable, even in a market like this.
Yeah, I think that's definitely one of the things that people are looking around, and it's very hard trading conditions, just very choppy, sideways. So yeah, it's something different to trade. And it's also kind of relevant in that it's very, very high yielding. It's around 18%. Gross yield, around 10% capital appreciation, and then 8.5% on rental. So that's pretty high in DeFi, but more importantly, we know where the yield's coming from, and we know that the yield's sustainable. So I think that's why there seems to be definitely a lot of demand for it. And yeah, we're excited to share it with the PEAKDEFI holders.
Yeah, I mean, 18%. Okay, for DeFi, that maybe doesn't sound like as high as some other DAOs or something, but 18% per year, that's a pretty good rate. If I go to my bank, they offer me like 3% or 4% if I'm lucky. So yeah. 18 is like really good.
Yeah, exactly. So it's definitely high in terms of stables. So if you look at stable coin farms across DeFi, obviously the highest was UST, wasn't sustainable, collapsed. But you know, if you're looking at Compound, Bayern, we're much higher, almost double, a lot higher. So I think, yeah, that's why people are interested, why we're keen to get it live. And it's, yeah, go ahead, mate.
Yeah, I was just going to say, and just to kind of like give a little bit of a breakdown of that 18%, just to kind of further clarify with the community how that works. So that 10% that Jag mentioned, that capital appreciation. So that's sort of a historical 5-year look back at these properties. They tend to appreciate in value every 10 years. So the underlying asset itself is gaining 10% of value each year based on the past 5 years of data. And then that additional 8.5% in rental income yield, that's essentially the rent that's being charged to the current tenants. There's about an 8.5% margin on that gets passed through to the holder of that real estate fraction. It's paid in USDC. So every year you're essentially getting 8.5% of your investment value delivered back in USDC, sort of free cash flow.
Okay, kind of like a dividend for stocks.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that sounds very good. Yeah, I like that idea.
I think beyond just yields, it's exciting in a bear market to have a nice yield. What's more exciting is the fact that someone can become a buy-to-let landlord with a few clicks. You know, to do this in the real world, yeah, it's a lot of work. You go source the property, lawyers, surveys, all these things. We've abstracted away all of that difficulty for the end user, and that's not us. It's actually blockchain at its core. We think this is one of the main use cases for crypto. We've been talking about it for a long time. We think it's one of the spaces that's basically ignored, but one of the most valuable spaces that's going to ultimately accrue a lot of value. So
definitely tokenizing assets is like a very like idea or an idea that has been on the market for years, but it was very difficult for the small investor to participate in tokenized assets in the past, I think. So
yeah, exactly. And then you can see a future, you know, where you're buying you're buying like a little bit of London as a basket, and then you bet a bit on this city, this city, this city, and that's in seconds, right? That is very, very, very cool. And this is kind of the starting block of this first property this week, and then there'll probably be another one next week, and then into next month we really start to ramp it up.
Okay, wow, very good. Do you have some more information that you can maybe show us, like some visuals or something?
Yeah, we've got Militza with us, who's gonna just do a quick demo. This is on testnet, so maybe a few bugs, but we will be live this Thursday on mainnet.
Okay, great. We can see your screen, yes.
So in order to see your real estate that you own, you should open your collection. And there you will see the house. On the card in my collection, you can see estimated yield for this house and the claimable rent. When you open the card, you'll see all the details that are connected to this house. For example, their location, property type, rent per month. But when you click view all details, you'll see much more info about it, financials with the tooltips, which will explain you everything, with features of the house, interior, exterior, etc. Also, you have here the estimated yield and the claimable rent. When you click the claim, you will claim the rent, which is for this house. And also you have options to sell the whole house and to sell fractions of this house. And of course, to transfer the whole house to some other wallet.
Okay,
so,
nice.
Yeah. So when you are selling, we have two types of the sell of the whole house. There is a normal order, which is sell on Tangible at your own price, and the instant liquidity, which will give you option to sell the house for much lower price, some lower price than it's the market price, and then you just, with the 2 clicks, you will sell your house instantly. And then there is a normal order where you can set the price. You can use the estimated price, for example, or you can enter any amount you want to sell the house for. And there is a claimable rent, which is now currently a little because I just bought this house. And also once you sell this TNFT, or unclaimed rent will be transferred with the TNFT. And if you don't want to lose your rent, you always have the claim rent button with which you can always claim your rents.
Okay.
Okay, so I can try to buy the house from Explore section on our platform. And there you can see, for example, this house, the seller is Militza, and the asking price for this house. Then you open it. You'll see again all the details as I already show you for this house with the estimated yield and now the asking price. Then you can see the annual rent for this house and the total amount for it. The good thing is that you can see your wallet balance here so that you know that you can buy this house. Then you need to approve.
Okay, now I have like 2 questions that come in first. First, can I also buy a share of the house?
Yeah, of course. Okay. I'll show it real quickly.
And the second question that comes to my mind is, where do these houses come from? I guess that you buy them previously and then offer them as tokenized assets, I guess, right?
Yeah. So there's a Panamanian SPV that's set up, and then each property has its own SPV. We purchase it, place it inside that SPV, and then the beneficial ownership to the equity in that SPV is tokenized and sold to the first buyer. Then the first buyer goes on and fractionalizes it, and then everyone can buy it from then on.
Okay, yeah, well, that's very convenient.
And rent is paid daily. So if you buy it today, from tomorrow you start earning yield.
Ah, nice. Okay.
Okay, so here is example how you can sell your fractions. For example, I'll choose 40% to buy. I can choose it here or just to enter the amount of percentage I want to sell. Then I should put the asking price, and here we are showing you what was the 40% of the original purchase, and that can help you to create a new price. I'll just put it here, and then you need to choose the minimum purchase percentage which user can buy. That's the smallest percent of the NFT that user can buy. I'll put it as 1, and and here you can see how what 1% of this property will cost the user to buy it.
Okay, and now other people can buy up to 40% of the house in 1% fractions each, right?
Yeah. Okay. Here you can see how it looks like when you put it on sale. Sorry. Here is the fraction which is actively selling. And you as a seller have ability to modify that sell, to change the percentages you want to sell and the price for it. And you can see here the progress of the sale, asking price per percent, minimum purchase, and the sale progress.
Okay, very good. So I have all the information that I need as a seller.
Yeah, everything. Okay, so also if you just want to cancel the sale, if you want to have again the complete house, you can just cancel the sale here. And after that, you'll be able to defractionalize the tokens so that you have your whole house at one place. And then you can sell the whole house again.
Okay, yeah. Since I need to cancel the sale with the blockchain confirmation with it, since I need to sign a transaction, I guess the whole process of selling the house is on a smart contract base, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Very good. Yeah, I love how decentralized the world is going to become, and that even selling a house is like working in a smart contract in a decentralized way, because then I don't even need to trust you as Tangible as a centralized source, because I can just trust a smart contract and know that what you're doing is working out. So yeah.
Exactly. And I think that is one of the main innovations here, the things that we're first with. I know you mentioned people have been trying this for a while. Absolutely, they have. But in this decentralized, real DeFi compatible way, we are the first to kind of make that happen. And you can see a whole ecosystem building around that, right? There's been a lot of talk around real world assets coming to DeFi, borrowing against them, a bunch of things, baskets of them, a lot of, as these things start to come on chain, then I'm sure you'll see a lot of things happening around real world assets.
Definitely. If I talk to my friends, like, hey, do you know about DeFi? They're like, know about what? So this is like a piece of a niche industry that is still so young that so many people don't know about it. But I'm pretty sure that within the next few years, they will definitely know about. And your approach seems to be like a really, really good approach. I mean, I can earn 18% per year. That's like pretty good on stable coins, and I can claim my rent every day. And I don't have to have the hustle with all the renters and everything, because you're going to take care of it, or your company is going to take care of it. So I can just lean back and invest and relax and earn the yields. That's like pretty good.
That's it. Yeah.
Melissa, do you have the ability to show a purchase fraction, or can we not show that because you are the owner of all those homes?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, yeah, because I think like for most of the peak customers, it's probably going to be buying a fraction is probably going to be their first entry.
I guess so, yeah.
So let's that'd be great to show.
Yeah, sure.
And also you showed that I can just sell my fraction. Like if I bought a fraction, that I can sell my fraction, because when I go to a bank and I want to buy a house, I take a credit and then I buy a house for like 40 years. But I just saw that I can just sell my fraction at any time, right? So I'm not bound to own my house for a long time. So can you explain this maybe again, or a little bit more detailed?
Yeah.
About reselling the fractions?
Yes. why I'm not like bound to have the house for a year, for example.
Yeah, instant liquidity engine or selling on market, both of those options.
Yeah.
Right. In the
And
end,
maybe
like
explain a little bit detail how this works. I
Mike,
think that's very interesting for the investors.
Yeah, sure. Well, while Melissa's getting the setup, I think that like from the buy and sell perspective, like these are in the end, these are all still NFTs, right? So you're as Jag explained, you're purchasing an NFT that gives you beneficial ownership to these like SPVs, which hold these different pieces of real estate. And so they become a transactable asset in NFT, just like anything else. So you can take ownership of this fraction of real estate. You can hold it for a month. You can hold it for 15 days. And I think part of the reason why the rent accumulates every day is because you don't want sort of all the rent to come in at the end of the month or the start of the month. You accumulate it and then you sell it in the marketplace, and someone isn't then able to claim rent for the next like 30 days. So you want to make sure that it has consistent cash flow, but you can certainly buy the fraction, you can hold it, and then you can either list it in the marketplace for whatever price you want to sell it for, or you can just sell it right back to us for instant liquidity.
Wow, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. And that's like I like the idea that I don't have to wait for the end of the month to get the rent, because then I can sell it anytime. Yeah, that's pretty good.
We're trying to make sure that like there's the transactions can be fluid, the marketplace can be fluid. There isn't sort of like a big holdup at the end, and that everybody has fair and equal access to the yield that's generated from the asset.
Yeah, crypto investors, they want to be flexible. So yeah, that's a really good idea. Yeah. Melissa, do you want to show you something?
Yeah, this is just to show you the buy flow of the fractions, where you can choose how many fractions you want to buy, and you can see that the minimum is 1% and the maximum is 30%. That's all available fractions. And when you, for example, put 10%, you'll see that the annual rent for 10% that you will own, it's 2.8K. And that the total price for buying 10% of this house will be 8.750.
Okay. Yep.
And I think just to note, the first houses that we're going to be deploying, the first one that launches on Thursday, I think the minimum, the buyer should be selling that at the minimum of 0.1%. So you'll have the ability to enter at a pretty low price. It should be somewhere in the $50 to $70 USD, depending on the sort of like final selling price of that property. But we want to make sure that the barrier for entry is fairly low for everyone.
Wow, yeah, I really love that. I just imagine like traveling around in a new city and then actually buying a property before and then walking next to a house and knowing, hey, I own this fraction of the house. That's like the idea behind it is like pretty interesting, like pretty cool. And I can even start with little money. That's like pretty nice.
Yeah. I think,
and since you're using the Matic chain, the fees are like almost non-existent. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think we're trying to do as much as we can to make sure that, the entry prices are reasonable. Everybody can kind of participate in this sort of new dimension of DeFi, and that transaction prices and the ability to sort of like use that marketplace is not cost prohibitive.
Yeah. What are the risks for the investors if they use your real estate TNFTs?
I would say you're pretty exposed to the type of risks that come with real estate investing. So a real estate market downturn, something crazy act of God happening to the house. They are, of course, insured. Maintenance, boiler going out, all of those sorts of things. But we add on a small fee upfront for these things. So we've got a maintenance reserve, so that in case that happens, it's not going to affect your rent in the short term. We will basically fix it. We upload all the invoices to the owner section, so you can see exactly what's gone on. And then, then we reduce the rent by 10 to 20% to replenish that maintenance, like reserve pool for maintenance for that specific property. That's how it works. So you're taking on the normal risks that come with real estate investing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice. Wow. That's a pretty good idea. Like, I really like that. And how are you guys handling all this? I guess I can imagine if you have more properties, it's a lot of work for you to do, right? So how can you manage that easy?
So we work with local property management companies in each area. That's pretty much the simple answer. Then they take on the majority of the work.
Okay.
We're paying them. You're as an investor, you're essentially paying them 2% per year for property management, and that just gets taken out of the annual yield on an ongoing basis.
Okay, but
So,
even that 2% is like a very fair price. I mean, if I compare to prices, I'm from Germany, so if I compare to managing prices here in Germany, I will pay much more, and so that's like pretty fair. Yeah.
Yeah. So, as Jag mentioned, there's the management fee, and then there's there's a sort of a bucket of money that's allocated if the property isn't currently rented. So you can basically sort of continue to pay rent while we're looking for a new tenant, or the property manager is looking for a new tenant. And then there's that maintenance fee allocation that gets replenished from the monthly yield as necessary based on the different charges.
Okay, yeah. And Jack, you just said that you're going to upload all the invoices in case if there's anything wrong. So the investors, they can really get the details of the property.
Yeah, so there's a pretty beefy docs section for each individual property that's got the incorporation docs for the SPV, the purchase documents, the surveys, the valuation document, all these sorts of things, the licenses that you need in various places, the lease. Yeah, and then any ongoing things, if new costs come up, if it's a very expensive thing, I think we set it at over $1,000, then we will get 3 independent quotes. So you know that we definitely tried to get the best price. And then once the work's completed, we upload the invoice.
Okay, yeah, that's great. So it's an information that I, as an investor, can even check like individually for each property if I want to. Like if I just use Google, I can check all the information if they match. So yeah. Oh, that's pretty good that you're that transparent. Like you're not just showing like a house and like an like an imaginary address. Like you are showing the real like documents. So
it's very important, right? Because people in crypto are used to trustless environments where everything's on chain and there is no human involved at all. But to bring real world assets on chain, there needs to be some little bit of custody, a little bit of centralization. So to really bridge that gap and to get the adoption, that whoever's going to be first needs to be super transparent, get people comfortable with the concept, and then people, over time it will become easier.
Yeah, I really like that idea because with blockchain, everything is transparent. So you're just continuing to show or to connect the blockchain with the real world, just being as transparent as possible. That's pretty good. Since this is our first, our first live after the IDO, do you want to maybe talk about the wine and the gold just for a little bit as well? Because you can use the opportunity to showcase like all of your products to the PEAKDEFI community if you want to.
Yeah, sure. We've got wine, watches. Obviously, in the current market conditions, I don't know if many of your community are aware, but even watches are down over the last few months, generally across the board. Wine's kind of holding steady, and gold's kind of holding steady. But yeah, I think that's why those are not, at least from our community, what we're hearing, they're not of particular interest at this current time. But so some people are, but people are thinking about it more now in terms of shopping. I think like people wanting to buy watches, buy these things and just redeem them. That's something that I can talk about actually, that is important. We're making a big change in the next few days to the contracts. And it's so that right now, when you redeem one of these things, your NFT gets burned. But that kind of destroys the record of that NFT and destroys my ability to ever bid on it again, even if it's in your possession, for example. What we're doing now is when you redeem something, we change the status of the NFT. So, and the user can customize that. So you could write, Jonas is wearing, say it's a Rolex, Jonas is wearing that. You change the status and that's what it will say on the NFT. But now we've still got a map of where all these items are, right? So even if it's in your house, you might get a notification to your wallet or next time you sign into Tangible that I've put a bid onto your, even though you've got it with you. So then you could accept the bid and then you could send it back to our authenticator and then it can be sold to me. So I think that's a really important change because it kind of allows you to build a Google for valuable physical objects. We kind of know where they all are and we allow people to bid on them no matter where they are. So I think that's an important change, and potentially it makes some of these other items more interesting because you can use, because some of them are more consumable items as well. Like you might just want to, be using them, drinking, whatever it may be. So I think that will add a better dynamic to that side of Tangible.
Definitely. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Definitely. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, our community gave us like so much positive feedback about Tangible. So like our community really liked your project. Like for real, like we got so much positive feedback after that. So also with the price development, they were like, oh wow, look at the price. So yeah, I think the whole idea that you brought on the table was like really good.
Great, no, we appreciate it.
Mike, you wanted to say something. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh no, I know that there had been a question early about the 3.3 plus in the marketplace, and so I think we can show it through screen share, but we probably can't actually list any 3.3 plus. But if the community, it sounds like there are some questions about that.
Yes, so they just want to know, like from your perspective, what can they do with it? What should they do with it? Like, how should they interact with it?
Yeah, sure. I'll show you to see your 3.3 plus. Sorry.
No, some of our investors are sometimes a little bit lazy, so I have to tell them every information twice. So that's why I'm asking you now again, so I can show them the video and say, hey, they actually showed it themselves, so you know what to do right now.
Yeah, sure. So in order to see your 3.3 plus NFT, you can open it in My Collection, and you have option to filter that your collection to see only your 3.3 plus NFTs. And then you can see here all the info about this NFT, how much is locked, the multiplier when the lock period expires, and the claimable rewards. And then when you open it, you see option to claim when you have something to claim. I mean, this is on dev, so I don't have anything to claim right now. And then you can see how much was the initial locked amount. It was for this NFT 1 tangible. The multiplier is 14. And what's the tangible revenue share right now for this particular NFT? And then you have option to sell it, to claim rewards early, or to transfer it to some other wallet. When you choose this, okay?
No, you can continue. I just want to like give you feedback.
Yeah. Okay. So when you want to sell it, you can put any price based on probably what's the locked amount. So I'll put something like this. And then you also have the info here that once you sell this NFT or unclaimed rewards will be transferred with this NFT. If you don't want that to happen, you always have the claim rewards flow, and then you can claim all your rewards. Then you need to approve Tangible to access your TNFT, and the important warning that 2.5% transaction fee will be charged once this TNFT is sold. So you'll get 2.5% less than 4.5K.
Okay, yeah.
So, and then you just press list. And after that, this NFT will be on the marketplace.
Just as easy as a real estate. I love that.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Melissa, can we show the can you go back to that real quick just to show the unlocking chart?
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Second load. Also, you can see now that this item is on sale.
And so if you go down here, anybody who has a 3.3 plus, they have a custom sort of token reward, like unlocking or sort of like a vesting schedule for each of their 3.3 plus NFTs. So you can see that how much of it you're able to claim early, how much of it you can claim for no penalty, and the timeline when that stuff will be available to claim. So as you move your mouse, it sort of updates the free rewards and also the early claim for the NFT.
Okay, perfect. Yes. Yeah, we talked about this earlier in another
but I think it's just a good reminder for people
definitely.
to sort of understand how things are tracking.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, cool. What is or what do you think are you going to do in the future, which could be the most interesting for the tangible holders? On one side, it's the real estate, and do you plan to just offer more real estate in different countries, or do you focus on the US first, or what's your plan on this?
Sure. There are a couple of things. One, if ideally as a tangible user, what you care about is marketplace volume, right? That's what's going to affect you the most. One, in terms of USDC rewards, and secondly, in terms of buy and burn and the price moving in a positive direction. So for us, we've done some user surveys, and our users, over 90% of people care about real estate above all the other assets. So that is, as a holder, that's what you want us to be doing. You want us to be basically tokenizing as much real estate as possible to get the volume up. And yes, we'll be definitely moving on to other countries. There is potentially something else in the work for holders as well, but it's not ready to be announced.
Okay.
But it'll be exciting for people.
Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, I can imagine that real estate is the most interesting, because I can buy a bottle of wine. I can save for like a year and buy myself a Rolex or something. But to get a real estate, that's like a big kind of deal. So that's that's the thing that I cannot have as easy as the other stuff. So I guess that's why it's so interesting for me. And real estate, it's solid. Like, it's a solid investment. Like, as you said, watches go down, but that real estate goes down, it can happen, of course, but I get my personal idea is, as a chance is smaller compared to like watches or wine, probably.
Yeah, it's just historically, I mean, it's one of the oldest asset categories, the oldest asset category in the world, and it's just less volatile. So, you know, even when you do see real estate drop, it's playing out over the course of months and years, as opposed to stuff that happens overnight. So I think it gives investors even a better chance to sort of react and reassess their position and what they're holding, and be able to make a move. And obviously, like through blockchain and smart contracts, it just like makes executing that shift, if you're looking to like reallocate your position a little bit, it makes it a lot easier than having to like go out and find a buyer for the house, or find a buyer for the property, and actually transact it in whole through traditional means.
Yeah. I agree with that. What is your vision when it comes to the real estate? For example, my vision, as for me personally, is to grow my capital and then buy some real estate here in Germany, maybe in other countries as well, but to buy real estate and then have this real estate rent as money as my pension when I get older, when I'm like 60, 70 years old. How can you imagine your tokenized assets in the next years for their investors? Would this be a process that you think is going to last for like a very long time, that I could start working with my plan on tokenized assets as well?
Yeah, absolutely. That's how we're thinking about it. We kind of see ourselves fitting in there as a competitor to stables, but as a great way for crypto traders to basically build, their retirement plan, exactly like you're saying, like that nest egg. We talk about it a lot internally and amongst friends, that we're going to, this cycle, 50% of all profits cycled back into real estate, just building that safety net. I think it's exactly the same way. A lot of people did that this cycle, but in the real world, they have to go back into off-chain, into fiat, and then they bought some property and bought different things as a hedge and to protect themselves long term. And now people can just do that in a few clicks. So that's definitely where we see ourselves fitting in. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's way more comfortable, because I just had an electrician here today with my apartment, and it's a lot of stress for me. And it's just like one apartment, but if I have to like manage multiple properties, just buy something tokenized asset is way easier for me as an investor.
Yeah, exactly.
And if I have enough rent from different properties, I can just collect the rent and buy the next property. Like, it's so easy to invest. Like, click, boom, I'm the owner of the next house. Click, I'm the next owner of the next house. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool. Do you have anything to add for the PEAKDEFI community?
I don't think so. Just that we will be live on Thursday. Mike, do we have a time?
Not yet, but I think, Jonas, we wanted to give your community exclusive access to the first sort of real estate drop. So we'll have an unlisted link that we can share to you, and then maybe you can drop that into your Telegram for your community. So that'll just be folks that are either sort of in our exclusive like Discord community for real estate, and then the PEAKDEFI users and some other folks through our email list. But it's a pretty small list of people that'll have access to this exclusive link.
Okay, we would definitely offer to our tier 5 investors, to our most premium investors, because they are our VIPs. If we have access like this, they are the ones to get the access. So we would definitely share it with them. And yeah, Sounds good.
And if it sells out before they get in, I would say, like, don't worry, we're going to continue to try and like get new properties available on the site, hopefully like one a week at a minimum over the next several weeks. And so we'll be sure to keep you guys posted on that.
Sure. Yeah. Just keep me informed, and then I can forward it to our community as well. Yeah.
Oh, great.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't have any other questions. I don't see any questions from the community right now. So yeah, thank you very much for your time. I guess that's it, right?
Thank you.
All right. Enjoy the rest of the week.
You.
See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.